John Hall has the enviable job of being one of the foremost beer journalists in America. He's the editor of All About Beer. He is the host of the podcast Drink Beer, Think Beer, and he's got a whole lot else going on in the beer world. He's with us again on 207.
Hey,
Thanks for coming in.
Good to see you.
Good to have you. All right, so now you've been on 207 numerous times over the years.
Yes.
I think every time going back, I don't know how many years we've had you on, and we've said, John, it's amazing the growth that we continue to see in the beer industry. How long is it going to last? Well,
yeah,
the wheel has finally turned, hasn't it?
a little bit. So beer in general has either begun to fall or is flat. There's a lot of things that are happening out there. Older folks, the boomer generation, drinking a little bit less. Gen Z, not drinking as much as previous generations did at their age. Gen X, where I am, we're starting to slow down, and the millennials have a sober, curious thing going on with a lot of things. Plus, there's a lot of wine, and there's a lot of spirits and canned cocktails, and all kinds of things going on out there. So beer is getting squeezed just a little bit.
There is one sector of the industry that is growing,
Yes.
non-alcoholic beer.
Non-alcoholics in general, yeah. And so it's fun to me that, we saw the hard seltzer craze that was out there for a while,
Right.
and then White Claw came out with an NA version, which is just seltzer. So they're really on top of it these days. But NA beer is growing and growing and growing. There's breweries out there like Athletic, which has really sort of captured the zeitgeist. Breweries like Heineken and Guinness have their own as well. And smaller breweries, Sierra Nevada is getting into it, Sam Adams is getting into it, and it's not just beer. So Allagash has introduced their hop water. So this is a hop-flavored, non-alcoholic seltzer.
Right here, yeah.
And it's fun. This for me is, if I'm out for a night, I'm having a couple of beers, I want a third beer. Maybe I've been drinking IPAs, but I need to, show up and be on your TV show the next morning.
Right, gotta be
this is
sharp
where I
for
want to
that.
be. I can also have this at my desk and during the day and not get yelled at and still meet all of my deadlines. So these are kind of fun. A lot of breweries are doing this. Allagash is new to it, but it's good.
Do you think that the non-alcoholic trend is a fad, or is this going to endure?
I think it's going to endure. I think the technology is getting better. The flavors are getting better. Like I said, those Guinness and the Heinekens taste like Guinness and Heineken. So if you're looking for that beer experience, because some of the NA tasted like punishment back in the day. Yeah. This tastes like the real thing. And again, you can get up and do what you have to do the next morning and still be sociable.
What are some of the other trends? How are consumer tastes shifting, as they always do?
So two things. I think the biggest thing is the majority of beer drinkers these days are lager drinkers, right? It's that Bud Miller Coors set. So we're also seeing a lot of brewers get into the lager space, some of the smaller ones. Allagash, again, is famous for its white. That's not going anywhere. That's still the majority of the beer that they're making, but they see a market in putting out a lager, and so it tastes like a really good, refreshing lager. And when you buy it, you're supporting small local businesses as well, and maybe not some international conglomerate.
You've brought some Bellflower, some Foundation.
Yeah.
What is happening with, again, these kinds of breweries that are continuing to innovate, that are trying new things, and that are all about experimentation?
Experimentation and community. The thing that I like about Foundation, there's a lot that I like about Foundation, but they're doing a lot of old school style. So you can go in there and you can get a brown ale, for example, which, 5 years ago, it was hard to find an English brown ale that tasted, really well made and really good. It's kind of a throwback in time. And they're also doing really cool things with IPA, but you can go in there and get their Detroit style pizza because the owners are passionate about their Detroit style pizza. But then also some of their other beers, if you buy it, money is going towards local animal charities, local animal shelters. And most of their beer, if not all of their beer, is made using local Maine-grown grain. And right now we're talking a lot about tariffs and things coming in from out of country. There's a lot of Canadian grain that comes in. If you can buy more Maine grain, I think that's probably a good thing.
All right, part of what you do, I think, is try to find out what trends are going to be coming. So peer around the corner for us.
Yes.
What's next in the beer world?
IPAs are still going to be what's next. IPAs aren't going anywhere at this point. But the cool thing is that the hop growers, and primarily in Michigan and the Pacific Northwest and maybe some other parts, are really trying to create new hop flavors, new hop varieties that are out there. And breweries like Bellflower, who use hops in such a really smart and deft way, are pushing that envelope forward. So sometimes you might get ones that taste taste like those peach candy rings, or tangerine, or cedar, or strawberries, or anything else like that. Brewers like Bellflower, are not only making flavorful IPAs, but they're really experimenting with the style that's out there. And then they have some other stuff as well. They're still pushing the fruited sours. They make Baltic porters. They do all kinds of fun things, and it's nice. We're 5 years removed from COVID now, right? And we can go back into bars and we can be back in restaurants, and the pubs are really that local meeting place. And when you have a good pint in front of you, like all of these places do, the conversation flows a little bit easier, and you know that your dollars are going to support good, small, local businesses.
John Hall, you got nothing that you're going to run out of in terms of topics, things to talk about on your. How many podcasts are you on?
Too many at this point. Yeah,
6 or something?
Yeah, it's the Drink Beer Think Beer one is the one that I listen to.
Drink Beer is the podcast to check out, and that'll lead you to others. We've got more information about John in the 207 section of our app or website. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment.